Hi friends, this is Shekhar Srinivasan and welcome to my channel. In this video, we shall learn 3 new features which has been introduced in Xamarin.Forms 4.8. The features are using the gradient brushes, drag and drop support, and also we shall learn how to use the FlyOut Backdrops practically with the support of demos. So in this video, the first demo I will be explaining is how to use the gradient brushes. And the second demo I will be explaining is about how to use the drag and drop support. And the third demo will be using the FlyOut backdrops for the shell application. Friends, before I start with this video, a small announcement. You might be aware of that I have started a video course on building food ordering app using Xamarin.Forms for Beginners, which you can observe on the screen now. This course will be consisting of 5 modules and one more additional module I will be adding as a bonus later. Currently, we have uploaded up to 3 modules, so it means that this course is still in under production. So if you are interested in purchasing this course as an early bird for just $6, then please feel free to place an order using the link below in the description of this video. Friends, many of you might be aware that myself and my team got affected with COVID positive. So this video I haven't recorded in my studio environment, but still I tried my best to provide the best quality on both video and audio. So one small request, please upgrade to all the 3 new features by watching the entire video, at least by setting the speed at 1.5 if required, so that my effects I have provided will not be wasted. Thank you. Now let us get started. I have already created a project and you can observe the current version what I have in my system is not 4.8, right? So let me quickly update the solution. Now you can observe our application is using Xamarin.Forms 4.8, right? Now, before I start with the demos, let me quickly use the magic of video and create the folders which I will be using in this application. You can observe I have created folders for models, services, view models, and the views. Now, let us start with our first demo, that is to understand how to use the gradient brushes. So let me right click on the views folder and select a forms content page XAML. And let me provide the name as brushes demo. Now, first let me add the code to provide the support for iOS safe area. And let me provide the title for this content page as demo on using brushes. Now, let me use the grid for designing the layout. So let me type in grid row definitions equal to asterisk. And remember that we have been introduced with 3 types of brushes to color our UI element. They are solid color brush, linear gradient brush, and the radial gradient brush. Let us start with the solid color brush. And we can use solid colors in 2 ways. Let us observe both the ways. So let me type in frame background equal to dark blue, grid.row equal to 0, border color equal to light gray, hash shadow equal to true, corner radius equal to 12, and let me set the height request equal to 150 and the width request equal to 100. And within that, let me add a label to state that it is a solid color brush demo. And let me set the font size equal to large, text color equal to white, horizontal text alignment equal to center, and the vertical text alignment equal to center. Now, let us first execute the application to verify. So let me open the app.xaml.cs file and let me comment the main page statement. And let me define a new main page equal to new navigation page of new brushes demo. Now let me execute the application. We can observe a frame with a dark blue background, right? The same we can also achieve in another way. So let me add one more row to the grid and then let me use the magic of video and let me quickly type in the frame code. Almost same, right? Then what is the difference means I haven't set the background for the frame. So to do that, let me type in frame.background, and within that I wanted to use a single color. That is what a solid color brush does. So let me type in solid color brush color equal to, let me select the light coral, and then let me copy the above label code and paste within the frame, and let me execute the application. We can observe the second row is also displayed using the solid color brush. Now let us understand the main feature of our first demo, that is how to use multiple colors or gradient colors as the background. In the very beginning of Xamarin.Forms, when I started, I have used Kia Shop for that purpose. And then later, once Pancake plugin got introduced, I felt like life became easy. And with this new feature, I'm much more happy, as I used to use these brushes from .NET 3.x WPF and Silverlight times onwards. So how do we use them in Xamarin.Forms 4.8 means? Let us observe. Let me type quickly using the magic of video to type in the frame. Now within the frame background, let me type in linear gradient brush. And this will take two properties. One is the start point and the other one is the end point. The value for the start point we can provide from 0, and the value for the end point we can specify maximum as 1. So let me type in the start point as 0, 0 and the end point as 1, 1. And in order to provide different colors within the gradient brush, we need to use the gradient stop element. So let me type in gradient stop color equal to green, and this color I would like to display at the offset value of 0. Now let me stop the execution, and once again let me execute our application. We can observe an error. The reason is solid color brush, even though the name was introduced from Forms 4.8, that is what we are using till now. That is the reason why we haven't got any error at that time. But when we use any gradient brushes, then make sure we set the brush experimental flag. So let me open the app.xaml.cs file and let us set the device flag. So let me type in device.setFlags of new string array of brush experimental. Now once again let me execute the application. Okay, now let us add some gradient stops. So let me type in gradient stop color equal to blue, and then let me set the offset value as 0.5. Let me save the code. We can observe two colors. Once again let me add one gradient stop. Let me save the code. We can observe the purple color. And in the same way, I can repeat any number of gradient stops with different colors at the different offset values. And finally, let me copy the label and let me paste within the frame. And let me update the text and save the code. Now you can observe a nice linear gradient brushes displayed, right? Like how we have a linear gradient brush to display multiple colors in linear way, we also have a new radial gradient brush to display multiple colors in radial fashion also. So let me add one more row for the grid, and then let me write a simple command radial gradient brush, and let me copy the code from the linear gradient brush and let me paste the code. And first let me update the label text to display as radial gradient brush. Next, let me change the linear gradient brush to radial gradient brush, and we can observe the colors are changed in the radial way, and also you can observe there is some errors noted in our code, that is at the start point and the end point for radial gradient brush. We will not be using the start point and the end point. Instead, we need to use the center and the radius. So let me quickly update the properties of the radial gradient brush. So let me replace the start point as center and the value as 0.5 and 0.5 and the end point as radius, and let me set the value as 0.5. I have used the crazy RGB colors, but you are free to select any good color combinations while preparing the gradient brush. Hope you are clear with how to use multiple colors or gradient colors in our Xamarin.Forms 4.8 application. Now, let us move on to the next new feature of Xamarin.Forms 4.8, that is the support for drag and drop gestures. Before I start with the coding, let me show you the finished application. Here we can observe the list of food items that are available is displayed within the collection view, and we can select a food item and you can drag and drop the food item to the selected food item, where the selected food item will be displayed. Okay, I think we have set our mind what we are about to do, right? For this requirement, first I require a model. So let me right click on the models folder and create a new file with the name food item. And let me use the magic of video and create the properties for the food items, that is title, image URL and the price. Next, we need some images for displaying as the food items, right? So let me quickly copy some images from my project assets folder and paste within the resources folder of my iOS application. And to support Android, we need to paste the files within the relevant drawable folder. You can observe I have copied 3 image files: main burger, main pizza and main desserts.png files. Now, let me create a food item service for maintaining the details about these food items. So let me right click on the services folder and create a new file with the name food item service. First, let me remove the constructor as we don't require that. And let me create a new method. So let me type in public list of food item get food items, and this method will be returning a list of food items. So let me type in return new list of food items, and within the collection initializer, let me paste some list of food items using the magic of video. We can observe there are 3 food items are present. Next, let us define a view model which we can use within our view. So let me right click on the view models folder and let me create a new file with the name cart view model. Now, let me use the magic of video to fast forward my typings for this view model. You can observe an observable collection with the name food items, and within the constructor, I have read the data from the food item service, which we have set to our food items observable collection. I guess you have understood this code. Now, let us move to the major part of our second demo, that is implementing the drag and drop gestures within our Xamarin.Forms content page. So let me right click on the views folder and click on new forms content page, and let me provide the name as cart view. Now, let me quickly type in the boilerplate code that we need to provide within the content page. We can observe I have set the iOS use safe area, and also I have set the title. Next, in order to use our view model, let me type in XML namespace :VM equal to, let me select the view models namespace, and then let us bind the view model to our view. So let me type in content page dot binding context, and let me define the instance for our view model. So let me type in VM cart view model. And if you remember our requirement earlier, in order to design our UI, we need a grid with 3 rows. So let me type in grid row definition equal to 200, auto, asterisk. And before I continue with the UI design, remember that even drag and drop gesture is in experimental state. So we need to set the relevant flag. So let me open the app.xaml.cs file and let me update our flags. So let me type in drag and drop underscore experimental. And as we are here, let me comment the main page and let me set the new main page. So let me type in main page equal to new navigation page of new cart view. Now, once again, let me open the cart view and let me execute our application so that we can observe the changes directly. As per our requirement, the first row we need is a collection view, right? to display the list of all the available food items. So let me type in collection view, item source equal to binding food items, selection mode equal to single, and then the collection view dot items layout, and within that let me define a linear items layout with the orientation as horizontal, and the item spacing I would like to provide is 10, and within the collection view item template data template, let me define a frame, border color equal to purple, corner radius equal to 10, and let me use a grid to display the food item. So let me type in grid row definitions equal to auto, auto, auto. And then for the first row, let me type in image source equal to binding image URL, grid.row equal to 0, width request equal to 100, height request equal to 100. And next let me define a label to display the title. So let me type in label text equal to binding title and grid.row equal to 1. We can observe the food item title is displayed, and finally I require the price. So let me type in label text equal to binding price, and let me use a string format to specify the value as a currency. So let me save the code, and we can observe the changes got loaded on our simulator. In the second row, I would like to provide the label. So let me type in label text equal to selected food item and the grid.row equal to 1. And finally in the third row, let me use an image and let me set the grid.row equal to 2. And for clarity, let me set the background color as light sky blue. Now, our requirement is from the collection view, we need to select the food item and we need to drop the food item to the selected food item. Okay, for that, we need to take the support of gesture recognizers. So within the image at collection view, let me type in image.gesture recognizers, and here we need to set the drag gesture recognizer. So let me type in drag gesture recognizer, and we need to set a property called as can drag equal to true. And this code will enable you to drag our image from the collection view. Once we have set this, next we need to add one more drop gesture recognizer to receive this item. So within the image at the grid row 3, let me type in image.gesture recognizer, and here we need to set the drop gesture recognizer, and also we need to set the allow drop equal to true. Else it will not allow the item to be dropped on this element. Now let me save the code and let us verify if the code is working as expected or not. Let me drag and drop some food items. Wow, awesome, right? I don't know how do you feel, but I really like this feature a lot. Hope you have understood how to use drag and drop gesture recognizer of Xamarin.Forms 4.8. Finally, let us move on to the last new feature which I'm going to discuss in this video, that is FlyOut Backdrops for the shell applications. First, let me show you the final result of the demo. Before we start, you can observe whenever the user is moving the flyout, we can observe a nice backdrop with gradient colors are displayed, right? Which was highly impossible earlier before Forms 4.8. Now we are in a position to achieve that. Friends, before I start with this demo, a small information. Many subscribers and developers are asking me to create a video series on Xamarin.Forms shell application development. So I thought of doing a complete video course on Xamarin.Forms shell application development for 3 to 4 hours for a price of $6. After I complete my food ordering app course, I will start with that. If you are interested, kindly let me know so that once I start, I will update with the details. And also let me know how many of you are interested in learning a complete course on ASP.NET Core or Core MVC or Core API or Razor Pages or microservices architectures, so that I can plan out some courses for the coming period. Now let us continue with our session. First, before we start with the shell creating, I need a content page to be displayed. So let me right click on the views folder and let me create a new file with the name main content, and within that let me add a stack layout, and let me type in label to display a simple text. Shell default content comes here, and let me set the vertical text alignment equal to center and the horizontal text alignment equal to center. Next, let us create our shell. So let me right click on our application and let me create a new forms content page, and let me specify the name of the file as main shell, and let me quickly change the inheritance to shell, and also let us update our UI to use the shell, and let me remove the content page.content. And since I want this page to be the startup page, let me set this page as the main page. Okay, once again, let us get back to our shell. First, let me use the magic of video and let me create a basic shell application with the support of a header template and also 2 flyout items. Now we can observe we have an image with the title of our food ordering app, that is Burger Queen, and we can also observe there are 2 flyout items, one to display the details about the burger and the other one to display the details about the pizzas. Now let us execute our application to verify the normal shell application. We can observe our shell application has been displayed properly. Now let us concentrate on the main requirement of our third demo, that is adding the flyout backdrop. So within the flyout item, let me type in shell.flyout backdrop, and within this we can use any brushes to fill the backdrop of our flyout. To make it simple, let me copy the code of linear gradient brush what we have used in our first demo, and let me paste here down. Remember that each flyout item can have its own backdrop. So for the second flyout item also, let me type in shell flyout backdrop, and let me paste the linear gradient brush color, and let me update the codes of the offset, and let me execute the application. We can observe for each flyout item we have been provided with a different backdrops. I hope you have enjoyed this video on the new features of Xamarin.Forms 4.8. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please make sure that you subscribe my channel and also share my videos with your friends. This encourages me to create more videos and courses at the lowest prices. Thanks for watching my video. Yours, Shekhar.